Let him state in a language everybody can understand. Nobody disputes his 17 degrees, but I'm disputing his wisdom in advocating that cannabis can make the economy of Kenya revamp to an extent of being a super world. If that's the case, then how come a whole province in Ethiopia where cannabis is legalized or bang is legalized is still suffering? Right here in our neighborhood. In fact, they are a headache to us. Those people have been involved in controlling this narcotic because they bring in tons that stuff. But are they any rich? How come Jamaica is not a superpower with all that cannabis that they have? That Nyasore of KISII, that's a strong bangi there, is 50 times stronger than this cannabis they're talking about in the US and other places. So they are turned high with a 0.2%. Guys at KISII and other places would have that for breakfast, just like cereals, at a 0.2% THC. So this presidential material person should pray for me too, so that I become a senator, so that I can impeach him for mispresenting himself and giving a wrong indicator that this economy will be revamped with a narcotic substance. It's that simple. To understand the physiology and of all the chemical reaction of bang into a system, how you behave. It's a focused drug. If you think of having ugari, you can have as much as 3 kilograms. You decide to walk, you can decide to walk from here all the way 100, 120 kilometers, and I've seen them do it. If you decide to dig, you do exactly that. It is a focused drug. It's just like the old railway line. You know, that's when we did 1894. The train has been passing through that rail line, the same speed, all those years. It does something hooting at a particular place, say Longonot, and doesn't change. So, Mutu wa bangi or bangi person is focused to that extent. So if he thinks he can dive into a hard wash basin, he'll do exactly that. And it's very dangerous then when you are advocating that. The DCI we have, the director, is a straightforward person. Do your job. If Wajackoyah is having that stuff as prescribed by the Act, lock him up and call us as your witness that this is narcotic. You can't prove otherwise. I have a rehabilitation center called John Mututho Empowerment Center in Nakuru, which has so far treated about 4,000 people. I cannot talk about my patients, but I can tell you we have a very, very big problem. We can't allow this discussion to go on that way. The cost of living and the hypes we are seeing now are a result of mismanagement at certain sectors, particularly in agriculture and finance. Corruption will always be there, and has always been there, but mismanagement at that level has really messed us up. No one is talking about the very, very basics, and the basics are who messed our food grains or granaries. Somebody imported fertilizers in huge quantities, messed up the pH, soil pH, acidity or basicity, and then production started coming down from a high of 45 bags per acre to as little as 10, 15 acres. There is this issue that we go through every year, that we have an artificial famine so that we can import duty-free. So 5 families are able to sit over a cup of coffee and decide the fate of millions of Kenyans. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. Kenya should not be starving. And people who forge certificates or who confess that they stole examinations or hired goons to sit exams on their behalf are more serious criminals than carjackers. Because you end up having somebody in installations like banks, installations like government treasury, audit, on the basis of stolen intellectual property. They should not be forgiven. some of those people to me, like one of the guys, don't need to mention the names, it strikes me like a very, very intelligent man. But if you don't want to go and have your intelligence checked by academia, then you have your own deformities and you are not fit to be a leader, period.
That the institutions that have been mandated to do the necessary vetting of people, to do that before and ensure that maybe even if it takes a day or two to clear a candidate, then someone should be, maybe they can come up with a system where we deposit, or the candidates deposit the required documents before, so that the day of clearing, they are sure that the candidates are cleared. Because it is also a bit difficult to expect them to authenticate documents the same day and clear candidates. So I think as a government and as the registrators, knowing that soon I will be one, we need to come up with proper laws that can guarantee we do not have this kind of confusion in the future. Because this, I can say, is acting very negatively on the independent institutions, and I think it is important for all institutions to ensure that if they are mandated to do anything, they have to ensure that they follow the law, they come up with policies and systems that are waterproof. It is also sad that we also seen leaders that are trying to vie for seats and they do not have the requisite documents or qualifications. So it is also shameful, because we are sending a very negative thinking to our kids. So I'm also challenging leaders that if you are seeking for any political position or leadership, let us have the qualifications that are in line with the kind of position that you're looking for. We as candidates should deposit our documents maybe even a month before, so that we give the agents required to go through your documents and confirm that the said do not have fraud. Yeah? So we do not want a fraudster kind of mentality.
Announcement na ihana tao aria mundu he hake anyite na nigetha na maria mangi tungihoera tuhoere ande tukumenya
unakiwaza kimoja kiteule cha kusimama watu wote ngumana ugoci iroge gucokerera aya ni aku to mahinda we hindo-ini waku muthamaki kuria guothe meguthie muthamaki